Welcome back, folks, to another episode of the College Baseball Show live Saturday mornings here, brought to you by Just Baseball Media. You've got me, your host, Mark Garland, and I got special guest today, Peyton Sowerk from our team here. How are you doing, Peyton?
What's up, Mark? It's good to hop on. Big fan of the show. Happy to come on and talk some ball with you, Mark.
Yeah, for those who don't know, you were the guest picker this week. The guest pickers have been kicking our butt this whole year. Tyler and I have been making a run late, just saying. We're making a run after we got past those single games. The series has been better, but my goodness, it's been a wild week. And let's dive right into it, man. I mean, we got so much baseball to talk about. Clemson at Virginia. Clemson drops first one 4-5 or 4-6. They win the next one 5-1. Sounds like there might be more people out today for Virginia. Virginia trending down. Clemson needs this win. Peyton, when you look at this, like, Clemson is in that spot where they're sitting so far down. They have to go on some kind of winning streak. They got to win today to even consider themselves a tournament team still.
Yeah. Clemson, I believe, is 6-11 in ACC. I believe that comes in at second worst in the conference. They won last night, which is great. I noticed that, some people are kind of hitting in different spots, which I, give credit to Bakich. He's trying to make something happen. Nate Savoy hit leadoff last night. I don't know if you caught that. He went 3 for 5, 2 bombs. Michael Sharman, another clutch start, 8 innings, 100 pitches. That was massive for him. But yeah, just like you said, it sounds like Virginia could be a little bit shorthanded today. But I think the winner of this game roots the direction of the season for both teams. I think if Virginia can pull this out and get the series win, I think that come a month from now, that's massive for them. And then Clemson, if they drop this, 6-12, like, it's now or never. Maybe more on the latter. But yeah, no, massive game today. Massive.
Yeah, I think even including today, Clemson can max drop 3 ACC games the rest of the year. So, like, if they lose today, they're talking about 2 in the next 3 series, and that ain't easy. Like, I just don't think that the road proves favorable for Clemson right now. I don't think that they have the firepower. I don't think they have the pitching. Like, Sharman's been great, and no doubt, dude's been electric for them and given them every opportunity. They don't have enough of everything else right now. They need to win today to put themselves in a conversation. Now, do they think the bats have come around a little bit, but they're still not getting the extra base hits, and they're not really driving in runs. Like, yeah, they won 5-1 yesterday, but it was like on long balls, and it wasn't really producing runs. And I think that they just need more. Yeah, they shut down Virginia, but Virginia's offense has gone stagnant sometimes. Their pitching has gone, like, Virginia's a right around 500, just over 500 team. They've been competing while Pollard has, like, got that team competing and believing in itself. They've had a lot of injuries to deal with and just trying to compete this year. I think that Virginia's a tournament team. I do not think Clemson is a tournament team. Yeah. Auburn at Florida, split the series here. We're 1-1 right now. It's been great. Been great pitching on both sides, enough hitting from both sides. I really like what we're having from this combination. I think that both these teams are in that conversation to be a host, even up in the national seed conversations. I like Auburn today. I think that they take care of business and take this series on the road. As much as I think that Florida's been really, really good, I like the Sunday starter here for Auburn going into this game, and I think that Auburn has more offense battling up in this one. So I'm taking Auburn. What are your thoughts here on this one, Peyton?
Yeah, no, I like Auburn today too. Going off of, like, the resume hosting standpoint, Auburn and Florida are 1-2 in strength of schedule. I think definitely the lean on pitching is Auburn today. I feel like Petrovic he is the epitome of what head coach Butch Thompson, shout out, 350 wins at Auburn last night.
Let's go.
Yeah, he is the epitome of what he looks for in a starter. Just fills up the zone with more than one pitch. He's just this composed guy, just never lets the moment get too big for him. And it's going to be a tough test on the road today at Florida in a game or in the rubber match. I also think with the bullpen too, like, Jackson Sanders has been massive for them. I believe 11.7 came out with a tweet yesterday. I got it written down. 8 1/3, 2 hits, 14 Ks. Like, that's massive. But I also want to point out LJ Cormier, who's a freshman, his last 7 games. So it's been SEC, Jacksonville State, and Georgia Tech. That was a midweek. 14 innings, 2 runs, 2 walks, 16 Ks. This is a freshman, by the way. I got to imagine he's fresh or like on call today. He threw 27 on Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is going to be fun to watch. This is going to be.
I think that there's just more depth for Auburn today. I think that they have more arms to go to. I think that that's what the difference is here. They're both very similar teams. Now, Florida being at home, I think that gives them a slight edge on that side of it. But I think Auburn is just a better team today. I think that they're getting healthy offensively. Rembert back. I think I've said it so many times. Like, you get these guys back in the lineup, all of a sudden this lineup starts cruising. I like them today. I like Auburn on the road here.
Two more things with Auburn, if I can continue. Credit to the freshmen yesterday, like coming in. Like Fralick got plunked, I think 99 in the ribs. I know he got taken out in the middle of the game. Taylor Belza comes in a massive situation. Gregorio, I didn't see it live, but he left live in the game in the middle of that bat. I think they were playing with 10 or 11 players, early on. That's just credit to them. And then I think something to look more for Florida is the Ernesto lefty out of the pen. That's kind of all they got from the left side. From the pitching side, is this their identity? That they're just going to come after you with righties that throw heat, and then, twice in a weekend, they just run out Ernesto for 20, 25 pitches and see if you can beat them. I think that's something to look at going forward.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, I wish that Florida had more left-handed arms, especially out of the bullpen. But, they have enough on the right-handed side that they've been able to compete, and they have such elite starting pitching in King and Peterson. Now, today will be interesting. Today's going to be an interesting one to see if there's a lot more offense in this game between these two. I don't think Florida can match up in an offensive game. That's why I'm taking Auburn. I think that Auburn just beats them offensively. Same as this next one, Georgia and Arkansas. Like, listen, this is a split series also. Same scores as the previous one, 3-6 and 5-3. And Georgia here in this one, I feel like they want this road win. They need this road win. Whereas Arkansas on the flip side could really use a home series win here. I'm going Georgia. I think that they just have more in the tank offensively. And I think Arkansas has used just about every arm that they have that's a quality arm at this point. Like, they're going TBD today, and it'll be interesting to see who they got thrown out there.
Yeah, I imagine Colin Fisher's probably going to get the start for him today.
He's going to start for him more, yeah.
But on Thursday, credit to Gabe Gackle. I know he came in with a bunch of buzz with his name. Pitching out of the bullpen in the middle of April probably wasn't on his bingo card. But on game ones, when you have Dietz and Gackle, game ones from two different angles, you get a high slot lefty and a power righty. It's tough to beat that, and credit to them for getting the opener. On Thursday's game, Georgia's top of the order. They gave them a shot to win, but you play the game with 9 hitters. Getting really picky here, but McIlvain in the 8th inning, bases loaded, that could have gone south very quickly, but he got out of it. I believe he just gave up a run. But yeah, and then game 2, Aoki was nails, man, out of the pen.
Aoki's been so good out of the pen for Georgia. He's been their best pitcher.
Yep. Or apologies if I didn't say that last name right, but the Dylan, the starter yesterday for Georgia. Yeah, thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. He left the game early, so throwing 105 pitches in Baum Walker, it's not great. No, it's tough. Georgia's 7-2, very quietly on the road now. But yeah, I think you hit the hammer on the nail. Like, Arkansas has run out basically all of their arms besides Parker Coyle that they trust.
Yeah.
And Matt Hobbs can pick and pop with his bullpen with anybody. But who can pick and pop with the bats now too? Is Georgia. They've got lefties, righties. They can do anything. I'm with you. I like Georgia. I can't believe I'm picking against Arkansas at home, but I'm with the dogs, man.
It feels like a weird season where we're like, oh, Auburn on the road at Florida. Oh, I'm going to take Georgia on the road at Arkansas. But I mean, that's kind of the way that we live in this world right now, where Georgia, I think, is just a better team than what Arkansas is producing now. Kudos to Arkansas going out there and getting game 1. Like, I think that was massive for them to be able to get that one, and Geico coming out of the bullpen and getting those outs. Like, he may go today a little bit too. Like, I think they're going to start with Fisher, and then who knows? They're going to throw everybody they got, because as an Arkansas, they got to win. Like
It's
they're
on the
looking at this
table.
going, they got to get the win. Let's go to Arizona and BYU. They've already played two. They played a third one today. They've split this series. BYU has been really tough this season. They're 9-8 in conference. Like they continue to win, whereas we picked them second to last in the conference. We didn't think that they were going to do much anything this year, where they continue to battle. They're especially tough at Miller Park at home. Arizona State has to win this game. Now they're 10-7 in conference. They dropped to 10-8 and are tied with BYU at this point in the season. That would be like the ends of any conversation. 3 weeks ago, we're talking about Arizona State hosting at Phoenix Municipal. Now they're on the edge of not making this tournament. Like, I think that they're still in. I think that they still have all the talent. Cole Carlin last night was amazing, but man, they just got to figure it out. They got to be more consistent on weekends.
Yeah, game one was an absolute barn burner. 31 hits, 28 runs. Like, it was just insane. And like, you know, I felt really good. Like you said, BYU is a scrappy team, but I felt really good about Arizona State. BYU is 5-6 at home going into this weekend, you know. But I feel like with Arizona State, like one of the pillars of this season is they lose this unconventional game, like that they, you know,
every weekend
put on the field, not on paper, but like you would think that, you know, they would win the game. But yeah, man, it's just but wild. But yeah, Carlone was absolutely nuts last night. I believe I read a stat that Carlone is one of 3 pitchers that has hit 101 this year. And he's left-handed too. So
just raising his draft stock.
Jesus, yeah. So I imagine with Tyler's upcoming board, he'll get a nice little boost.
It'll be up there. Like him and Mason Edwards are like the kind of guys you're looking at going. And Edwards had another good game, which we'll talk about here later. But man, it's been interesting. But Arizona State has to put it together today. They have to go win this baseball game. They haven't had a weekend sweep in Big 12 play, which is something that they need to do. Like that's something that they got to figure out how to piece it together. I thought that this was maybe the weekend that they do it. They didn't do it. And it's been really a big struggle for them. So moving forward, Arizona State has got to figure out a way to sweep a weekend. Georgia Tech at UNC, 2-5. Jason DeCaro, man, he shines. And the home field for UNC really showed up. Like, very impressed by this team to be able to hold Georgia Tech off the board. Georgia Tech had its opportunities. Bases loaded there in the 8th. They had the opportunity, got the fly out late. Like, I think that Georgia Tech bounces back today, but I always came away more impressed with the UNC holding this lineup down. That's been the best lineup in college baseball.
Yeah. DeCaro, I believe, is the first starter this year to shut Georgia Tech with 5 shutout innings. Just a box score thing I pulled after the game. Drew Burress, Vaughn Lackey, Carson Kurtz combined 0 for 13 in this game. Just wild. Macon Winslow, the big-time home run opposite field. McDuffie and Caden Glauber continue to be nails. Like, McDuffie is unreal. And then, Caden is the freshman, is unreal. Jake Schaffner doing Jake Schaffner things. I think he had 3 for 4. But yeah, Ryan Lynch and Porter Bursama today is going to be fantastic. Lynch, you get the sinker slider, and then Bursama is just this power north-south guy. It's going to be fun. But I know Georgia Tech lost the game, but shout out the pen. I have it down 5 2/3, 4 hits, 8 Ks, 0 runs. They gave them a shot to win, and it'll be fun today.
Yeah, Justin Shattuck came in and was unbelievable for them. Like he shut that thing down. UNC was scoring and they were rolling. He comes in and shuts that thing down, and it was like, all right, you're giving your guys an opportunity, and they had chances. They really did. They battled back. But tip of the cap to Glauber, man. That freshman, he was unbelievable again. To shut down that lineup, even facing it a second time through, was really good to see. So big win for UNC at home there. I like Georgia Tech today. I think that the combination of Bursama and then bringing in Loy, I just think that they have a little bit too much. I think the offense gets rolling today. But Lynch is just good at he could shut down a lineup. I mean, if he gets that sinker slider moving, he could shut down this lineup also and really hold him at bay. So I just think that today is the day that Georgia Tech ties this thing up and we go into a rubber match on Sunday, which I will be very excited for. I know we got 2 guys there. I think we got Tyler and Monty both at that game today. So very excited for those guys there. And I think shout out to Tyler. I think he's running his half marathon this morning. So want to give him all the love. Yeah. Hopefully he's out there just crushing it right now. I think the finish line is right there, right at UNC's campus. I think it finishes right by the field. So rooting for him. Hopefully he's making a good run today. Texas A&M at LSU, man. People start learning the name Jorian Wilson. This dude can rake. He's going to be a problem. Yes, he was 2 for 5 with 2 home runs and 3 strikeouts. You're going to see a lot of that. You're going to get away with that, though, when you hit the ball almost 900 feet in your 2 home runs. Beating LSU at the box, they rough up Evans. LSU drops to 23-16 now and 6-10 overall. Peyton, it's almost do or die time in Baton Rouge. Like, they got to get going.
They have to get going. I watched Jay Johnson's entire post game last night, and it was, I give credit to him for being honest, but the vibes are not high.
They're not high.
LSU 8 walks on the mound, man. It's they've always had the stuff. It's just a matter of just imposing your will and filling up the zone against your opponent. A&M's top of the order continues to do massive things. Scary moment there with Hakopian.
I got hit right in the mouth.
But 1 through 3 with Grahovac, Sorrell, and Hakopian, and then like you said, Jorian Wilson, massive. I know A&M's rotation as a whole has been a little shaky, but the bullpen's been nails, man. Like last night, they went 4 1/3, 6 Ks, no runs. Vibes are high in College Station.
Yeah, Shane Sano, another good start for him. He comes out there and stops. Like, no matter what it is, it's still LSU at the box. I don't care who they are. I don't care how well they've been playing. Still LSU at the box to go in there and shut them down like that. And then for the offense to beat up Kassan Evans, like, that's crazy. He's been having some good starts in there. He got lit up a little bit. I'm really worried if I'm an LSU fan. They seem to not be able to throw strikes. They seem to not be able to get that clutch hit. It feels like everybody's swinging for the home run ball, and they're not hitting them. I mean, they're not coming.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say it's just gonna be interesting today. Like at this point, Texas A&M is there right behind Georgia and Texas. Like they're tied with them. They're right there in that conversation. I don't think that they maybe give up one to LSU, but I think that today is another A&M win.
They're what a 180 turnaround from last year, right? Just one other note is A&M's 8 of their 9 starters had a hit, but the one person who didn't have a hit was Bear Harrison. He had 3 walks.
So 3. Everybody got on base for that lineup, which was crazy.
So, Mark, I want to put you on the spot and ask you a question.
Yeah.
And I know you brought it up in one of our discussions last week. LSU needs to go 7-7 to get that magic number 13. Do you think they can do it?
I think that they can.
Yeah.
Do I believe that they will? No. I think that this is a 12-win LSU team. I think that they only get to 12 in conference, and I think that they're going to put that conversation out there now. It's like, what does the committee do with a 12-win LSU team? I think that they drop another one this weekend, so I think they only get one here. But the thing is, they still have winnable games coming up, but the schedule's not super easy for them. I don't like LSU to get to 13 wins. I don't. I think that they just don't have it. I mean, you saw it last night. The vibes are down. When you can't win on Friday night in the box and not even be that competitive, honestly, like it felt like it was A&M's game the whole time, even when it was close. It still felt like it was all A&M, and the fans weren't really into it. So I don't know where you're at on this one, but I do not think that LSU gets 13.
I selfishly want them to get to 13 just personally because I had them as one of my Omaha 8. I've always believed in Jay Johnson, man, to get the job done. And, man, I still have hope. I understand, again, the vibes are just not good down there, but I think something can happen. And if you get Jay Johnson in the tournament, all bets are off.
It's fact. I mean, it's a fact. And here's the thing, like, the 7 wins would put them at 30 minimum, and probably they get the 3 midweeks. And so then they're looking at 33 and 23. Okay, you got to put them in. If you're the committee, you have to put in the reigning champs if they get to that 13 wins. But if they don't get to 13 wins, I don't think there's any way. I think that the 12 wins is not enough for them. But I'm interested to see it. I'm very excited here for today's game and see if they can bounce back and do something against this A&M pitching staff, especially the bullpen. They've been so good all year for A&M. So very excited. Speaking of bullpen, Vanderbilt 2 at Kentucky 5. The walk-off for Van Cleve, huge grand slam there. Like, 2 teams. Vanderbilt's been leading the conference in home runs, and then they go in here and they only score 2 runs, but the pitching was elite last night. Big win for Kentucky. Huge walk-off for the freshman. Van Cleve hits his very first home run, and it's a grand slam to walk off.
What a time.
Like, what they needed. Get back to 8-8. I'm telling you, man, this Kentucky team, the vibes are high, even though they're only 8-8. Like, they feel like they should be much better than where they are.
So I pulled something from the recap off Kentucky's baseball's page, and Van Cleve had a 0.53 average versus them before. That's incredible. But that's baseball, man. That is baseball with 2 outs too. I think the other story here is Jelkin.
Yeah.
Like he's starting to get some buzz. He had a not his best start against Auburn last week, but I have written down his last 5 starts. So he went 8 yesterday, and then he had his Auburn start. Missouri 7 innings, 10 Ks. At the box 8 innings, 7 Ks, and Ole Miss 7 innings, 6 Ks. He's given them a chance to win game ones. Kentucky continues to steal bags. I think they're at 95 right now. If Tyler Bell was healthy, they'd have 100, I bet. So I'll ask you another question. So Vanderbilt is 99th in RPI. I think they need 14 or maybe
I don't
13.
I don't think 13 is going to do it. I don't think they're going to get in the top 75 in RPI. The highest team that has gotten in with an at-large in the last 5 years is at 53 in the RPI. Now, they're using a different metric this year. It's not quite the RPI system, but I don't think that Vanderbilt gets into that magic number without 14 wins. I think 14 wins, you almost have to put them in, even if they're like 75 in the RPI. That RPI is not going to climb that much for this team. Like their non-conference was brutal. They didn't play well in it. They're 7-9 in conference right now. They're 22-17 overall, which is just not good enough. And they're not good enough against Q1 and Q2 opponents.
No.
I don't know if Vanderbilt gets to 13 wins. I think that they do. But again, it's still an uphill battle for them. They still have to go, they still have to win 6 more games. Like at some point, they got to win 6 more SEC games.
Vanderbilt's 2-9 against quad 1.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like their quad 1 and Q2, it's not good enough. That combined Q1, Q2 stat that we all look at to see where teams are, they're not it. That team is not it right now. They have a lot of home runs, but they have so much missing. And if they don't win on Friday nights right now, it's a real hard slate for them because that's what they have. They have to hang their hat on Friday nights because that's where they've been so good this year. If they don't win on a Friday on the weekend, watch out, especially at Kentucky now with them getting a little bit of momentum. Like you said, Jackson Jelkin, we had him on the show this week. Terrific young man. Excited to see him do so well. 8 innings of ball from that dude. Like just tip of the cap to him going out there and competing for this team. But I want to see more offense from Kentucky. But I think that they're one of those grinder teams. Nick Mingione is just going to get this team to grind. I think that they're a tournament team. I don't think they're in the conversations of hosting unless they go on some sort of tear here late. But I do like this Kentucky ball club.
Send them wherever. They're going to compete with anybody, man.
100%.
That's just their identity.
Hey, you might see them up in Corvallis if
maybe
they can figure out some way to win. So Texas State at Southern Miss, huge Sun Belt matchup here. These two teams are now tied in conference as Texas State loses 2 and Southern Miss 8. Grayton Harris continues to just shut teams down. A 6-run third inning there for the Golden Eagles proves to be too much. Capped off with a big Ben Higdon home run. Man, I keep giving Southern Miss this hard time. I keep saying they got to take a season sweep. They got to go get a series sweep. Texas State is really tough and can hit. Harris really shut this lineup down that's been on fire.
Yeah. Not to toot my own horn, but I'll give more snaps to me. I think I was the only one that picked Southern Miss in the pick'ems. But yeah, Grayton Harris, 3rd straight quality start. Again, I think it's good to see Southern Miss shake back after a 3-game skid. I know they lost the series last week. I believe it was against ULL, lost the midweek against Ole Miss, and then they take game 1 here. I have always just been bullish on Southern Miss at home. I like
Pete Taylor. They're tough.
They're tough, man. They're tough. 8-1 versus Q2 teams. Texas State's a Q2 team. It's good to see the lineup continue to not overdo themselves. Like you had 8 batters, with 1+ hit. It's like a conga line, The pitching matchup today is going to be fantastic. Cade Smith and Camden Sundstrom. Another stat, whatever this means. In conference last year, Southern Miss had 4 stolen bases. Well, now they got 5 in conference. So, but yeah, Southern Miss, big run, big 3rd inning, scoring 6th. But yeah, this was fun. This was a fun game.
It's a big one for Southern Miss. I mean, to me, this is not a host team. This is not even a top 25 team for me right now. But the numbers say that they should be because of RPI and all the teams they beat in the midweeks. But right now they're trending down. they need a season sweep. If they swept Texas State, I'd feel different about this team. If they take 2 or 3, I'm going to feel pretty good about them. They're not a host team for me right now, and I don't even think that I have them personally in my top 25. But they could work their way back. That they don't play Coastal this season, and so that matchup's never going to happen until maybe the postseason, until the Sun Belt Championship. So really, there's not a lot on their schedule that kind of boosts their RPI for my liking. But again, this Southern Miss team, big Australian are going to go out there and maybe get another 40-win season.
Yeah.
This team is good. But I just don't feel like that there needs to be a host of Pete Taylor this year. As much as I love it, I would love it there. It just doesn't deserve it to me, in my opinion here. But who knows? I mean, they could go on some tear here, prove me wrong late. Cal State Fullerton at Oregon State. I see a comment here about Dax. Is he hitting the wall? Like Dax Whitney hitting the wall? I don't know if he's hitting the wall. He's had to throw a lot more strikes. I think he's getting hit on the fastball in the zone. But really, he only gave up 3 hits. Like, it's not like it was crazy. They lost 2-1. The story of this one is Negretti, Micaiah Negretti for Cal State Fullerton goes the complete game, only allows 3 hits. Easton Talt has the double for Oregon State. Other than that, it was really nothing going offensively. Is there a big concern here when you look overall and say, hey, is the concern that Oregon State offense is just not where it needs to be now?
I'm nervous about the offense now because we're just about 40 games into this thing. Oregon State's played 36 games. Do you know what they're hitting as a team right now?
It's probably in the high 250s, low 260s.
260.
Yeah.
260. They have 3 players that are hitting 280 plus. This is Cal State's first quad 1 win this year.
Yeah.
And it's just like you said, Negretti, second complete game this year. Both are on the road. He went to Hawaii a couple weeks back and tossed that. Now at a 1-3 with a 65-9 strikeout to walk. Oregon State, man, just 3 for 30 offensively last night. Same thing with Arizona State, the typical blunders, whether it's on a Tuesday or yesterday. It just One more thing about Negretti, 16 flyouts is kind of interesting, but yeah.
Ball does not fly at Goss.
No.
It does not fly out of that ballpark.
No. So I'm interested to see how the Beavers bounce back today and shake back.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. They need to bounce back today, especially because they're talking that host conversation. I said that they had to be, in that 48. Well, now they've got their 8 losses. So if this team wants to continue, they've got to go out there and win some games here if they want to be in that top national seed host. I think that 43 kind of puts them in that conversation. So they're in that top 16, but they've got to go out there and show teams that they can hit. And right now, 3 hits is not going to do it. Team that did hit, Alabama at Texas. Texas takes this one 10-2. Huge day starting off with Carson Tinney with the home run in the first and never really looked back. Volantis was great. Cozart comes in. The combination of those guys strike out 17 Alabama hitters. Just 1 walk for Cozart in the 3 innings. No hits. Man, they looked the part. This looks like the part of a national seed team here in Texas.
Yeah. Texas now 2 in the RPI. They're 21-2 at home. Like you said, the Volantis-Cozart tandem, again, just like we talked about with Dietz and Gackle, it's like these 2 different looks, right? Volantis is this high release sink guy, and then Cozart's kind of a low launch ride guy. And I saw an interview with Cozart saying I think he started growing facial hair around 13 or something like that. But yeah, it's good to see Texas get the series opener after dropping the last 2 weeks. I personally am a big fan of Robbins hitting leadoff. I caught that. The Robbins, Tinney, A-Rod, and then their leader, who would have thought their team leader in conference for batting average and hits and stolen bases is Anthony Pack. That guy has been a godsend for him.
Yeah.
Look, man, Texas is loaded. They don't have any weak points, but he continues to get the gears moving with them. And tough game last night for Bama. But one thing to point out, Justin LeBron is now 32 for 32 in stolen bases. He had 2 last night. I know it hasn't been what he expected offensively in conference, but he is trying to do when he gets on the bases, he does what he can, and I can appreciate that. And he's been unbelievable on the base pass.
Yeah, and he's a phenomenal athlete. We know that the errors have been up a little bit this year. He's been struggling on that side. He's been struggling with the hitting, but he does put pressure on teams when he gets on. I want to see Alabama bounce back today. I just think it's really tough. I mean, that this pitching staff for Texas is really, really good, and on the road at Texas is always tough. But I think that Alabama maybe tries to bounce back a little bit today. I still think Texas takes the series, whether it's today or Sunday. I think that Texas takes this one.
Let me ask you this, Mark, before we go on the next one. Do you think Schloss and Coach Wiener keep Volantis as the game one guy going forward?
Yeah, I think that this is the easy way to make that shift now, right? Since they missed the Sunday game last week, they made the shift here. Super easy just to keep him as the Friday guy moving forward. Now, you've already made the choice here. You just continue to roll with it. It makes it a lot easier for this team if they move forward. You know, Riojas going on Saturday and Harrison going on Sundays. Like, that's still a really good top three. And I really like where they're at. And I think that that's the direction that they're going to go. I don't think that they switch things up between Luke Harrison and Riojas. I don't think that they swap them. I think that this is the direction that they go. Kind of gave those guys each an extra day of rest also going into this way, making it this Saturday and Sunday, and gave Volantis the chance to be the Friday night guy for the rest of the season. So, yeah. I think that's the way they roll.
I agree.
Houston 10 at West Virginia 7. Tough loss for West Virginia. The Mountaineers did battle back late with 4 in the 7th and 2 in the 9th, but Houston holds on for a huge road win there. Blake Fields, Riley Jackson, and Xavier Perez all have massive days for the Cougars as Dawson Montesa gets roughed up. 4 1/3 innings, 7 hits, 5 runs. Like, the roller coaster that is West Virginia on Fridays continues here, Peyton.
Yeah. I wrote in my notes. I wrote about Montesa a couple months ago, or earlier in the season, we'll just call it. I'm now worried about him. Those last 4 starts, it's just under 19 innings, 18 earned runs, and he's allowed 28 hits.
Yeah. Getting hit. It's not even like the walks are piling up. He's getting hit. When he throws it in the zone, he's getting hit.
Getting barreled. The 1 through 6 for Houston, I thought, was the story of the game. I mean, all of them just continued to get on base. Perhaps this was the Big 12 upset last night. Houston 4-12. And you thought West Virginia, with all the momentum they had, at home too?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. But this is why you play 3, right? So we'll see what happens today. But I know West Virginia wants that game yesterday back. Bad.
It feels like nobody in the Big 12 wants to do sweeps other than Kansas. No. It feels like everybody else is like, we're going to win 2 of the weekend and be fine. But those start to add up right now as West Virginia finds itself like further away from first place and needing some help there to be able to get back up to win the conference championship. Whereas Kansas and Oklahoma State are going to play 2 today. That one's going to be very interesting. Kansas is starting that first game down 2-6. But it'll be interesting because I think that these are big games coming up in the Big 12 today. I can't wait for more of these. Let's talk about NC State. They go down to Wake Forest. Late scratch for their starting Friday night guy. They now don't have their Friday or Saturday pitchers, and they're going into a stretch here where they need to get some wins, sitting at 500 in conference. They drop this one 1-22. Lavonis only goes 3 1/3 because he didn't really need to go further for Wake Forest. But my goodness, huge win for Wake and a brutal wake up maybe for NC State as they really are going to be reeling the rest of this weekend.
So I watched live the last half of this, honestly, just to see, number one, this was real. Number 2, just to watch, ping around all the games. I think the biggest thing that I looked at is obviously the score is jarring, right?
Yeah.
Lavonis didn't have anywhere close to his ace stuff. He had 5 walks.
Yeah.
But a friend of the show, Josh Catlett, and I were talking before the season. If you were to say Wake Forest wins 22-1 against NC State and they throw both Lavonis and Morningstar in game 1, this is why the games are played on the field.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of JD Stein. I liked him out of high school, and obviously he's contributing now with Wake Forest. He's up to 300 in conference. Javar Williams, another dude I like. He's got a hit in 10 of his last 12 games. But man, God, NC State. I mean, Marone's out this weekend. And the Duden injury was a blow.
Huge.
I didn't know it would be this bad. But yeah, that's and is it Blake Schaff with Wake Forest, 7 RBIs? I mean, nothing went wrong for the Demon Deacons last night.
No, and it's the perfect timing for them as they need to continue to win these conference games, and they like that team that was kind of in the middle of the mire, and you're like, okay, where is this Wake Forest team? And they keep winning games. Now they're now 10-9 in conference. They're putting themselves back in that conversation of being a 2-seed, fringe 2-seed here versus being that 3-seed that just barely gets in the tournament. The 26-13 overall, they're like, now Wake Forest or NC State's in trouble. Like at 8-8 in conference, they got to go out and figure out how to win at least 7 more conference games.
At least.
And I don't know if they can do it unless they get Marone back. If they don't get Marone back for the rest of the season, this is a really tough thing for NC State. I don't see a road where they get there with the starting pitching they have currently, because they don't have a tremendous offense. They have a good offense, but that offense isn't going to blow you out of the water. They're not going to keep you in games. I mean, you saw it yesterday, 5 hits total. Like, granted, you win against Morningstar and Livonis, like 2 good arms for Wake Forest, but that's not acceptable. I think that NC State, if they don't get a bounce back today, it's a tough sled for them the rest of the season.
One more thing about Wake before we continue on. Quietly, 17-4 at home, and now at a 25 RPI. I know they had their first month jitters, especially in Puerto Rico to open up the season. Team you do not want to play right now, especially at home.
And they're getting better with the pitching. The offense is coming back to life. Like, more of these guys are finding out their spot. Like, and if you can get Blake Morningstar going again, watch out, because yes, he's had some struggles this year, but we all know the arm talent for him. And if he gets going, even if it's out of the bullpen, man, that just gives them another weapon. So I don't know, man. Wake seems like a team on the rise for me in my recent talks about them. Like, I think that they're just going up and up and up. Speaking about another team going up and up, USC goes down in Nebraska. This was crazy. Mason Edwards exits the game up 7-2, right? He's had a great game, a great start for USC. 7 innings of work, strikes out 12 batters. You're going, okay, did the job. The USC bullpen's been good all year, been able to hold teams off. Now, when Nebraska comes all the way back here in this thing, they score 3 in the 8th, 2 in the 9th, and 1 in the 10th to walk this thing off. Unbelievable. USC has miscues in the 9th to allow a run. They allow another one in the 10th by an error. Mac Moyer and Jet Buck both have 3 hits apiece for Nebraska. Just a gutty win for Nebraska, but they're putting themselves in that spot where they're going to be the second best team in the Big Ten. Like, right now, they're ahead of Oregon and Purdue and USC as second place in the Big Ten. Like, we're looking almost like there might be it's at least 4. There might be 5 bids out of the Big Ten.
5. USC had this game in the bag in the 9th inning. What was it? 7-2, 7-1, 7-2?
7-2 in the 7th. Yeah.
Gosh, man. It's April 18th and USC still doesn't have a quad 1 win. Nebraska, though, 17-1 at home, 20 RPI. I liked them against Oregon last weekend. I know they dropped the series, but I wasn't really worried about them. It's good to see them bounce back this weekend and get the opener. Shout out Ty Horn. I know that was kind of their big guy in the rotation. He comes out. I think he threw the 9th for them, and then a shutout inning, keep them in it. Nebraska looks like a wagon, man. A Lincoln Regional would be fantastic.
They are right on that cusp. I keep talking about this team now. If they had taken 2 of 3 from Oregon, who I'm really high on Oregon, I think that they're really good. I think that they're going to keep piecing themselves together as they get healthy because they've been banged up a lot. Nebraska is a team that is very dangerous come tournament time. If they are not a 1 seed, if they don't get to the top hosting seeds, then you're talking about a very dangerous team that's going to go on the road and be very tough for somebody. Now, they're very good at home, and I think that if they get a home regional, they could easily win that thing. This could come down to the Big Ten tournament in Omaha this year to see where these teams get seeded. So, because I think that you're going to see 2 from the Big Ten get hosts, whether that's Oregon, whether that's – I don't think it's USC now. Like you said, the quad 1 wins are not there for me. I don't think that they have enough offensively for me to put them as a host at this point. Now, if they go take 2 more, the next 2 from Nebraska somehow – it's a different conversation, but I think Nebraska holds on and takes this one at home. Big one there for Nebraska, though. Just more Nebraska.
Edwards was nails too, but quite the funky stat line. He went 7 innings, 9 hits, 2 earned runs, I believe, and a dozen strikeouts. Again, was nails and gave them a chance to win on the road. But just, yeah, Nebraska is a wagon.
Nebraska is tough, especially at home, and they get another one today. If Nebraska wins this series, you're talking about a whole different team. So I love it. I think they're going the right direction, and this team is very, very good at home. Cincinnati at UCF, man. Cincinnati 1, UCF 7. The Knights get this thing done, holding Cincinnati to just 4 hits on the day. Mateo Gray, man, what a story this young man's been now. 7 2/3, just 4 hits, 1 walk, 1 run, struck out 9, 11-5 in conference now. And since he drops to 6-10, they're on that fringe now of dropping out of this conversation. Like a lot of us had them as possible 2 seed. They're dropping down fast now the last couple of weeks here. Cincinnati's got to find themselves, but a big win and a big bounce back for UCF.
Yeah, just like you said, Mateo Gray, that was the story of the game. I believe it was his collegiate start ever. 7 2/3. UCF controlled this game, man. Cincinnati had 3 just brutal errors in this game. 7 hits from 7 different guys in the lineup. I know you were at the Kansas series last week. It's good to see UCF respond the way they did. Like, again, I thought they controlled this game. And after getting swept last week, and, I won't say get the wind out of their sails, but, a very high energy, I think you can attest to that, very high energy venue or a place to play. Good to see them get the opener.
Yeah, I think I still have concerns about UCF as far as the offense goes. I worry that they don't get enough extra base hits. I worry that they don't push enough runners across. But again, they took advantage of the errors from Cincinnati last night. If Cincinnati doesn't commit those errors, this game's way tighter. Whereas, it's a bad loss for Cincinnati to go on the road here and make those mistakes and only get the 4 hits. I think that you see a little bit of a bounce back here today, but I still like UCF. I think UCF has enough pieces in the bullpen. They didn't have to go deep last night with Mateo Gray going 7 2/3, which just saved all those bullpen arms for UCF the rest of the weekend. UCF at home is tough. Also, it's in Orlando. It's a tough travel for Cincinnati. Like, this is a big weekend series for UCF to kind of stay. They could keep themselves at second in the conference, or even somehow jump Kansas again if there's a bad weekend against Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
Ohio State at Purdue. I called this one all week. I said this is going to be a tremendous series. It's going to be a great weekend of baseball for both these teams. The resurgence of Ohio State that Justin Hare has done is great. They do lose this one. So Ohio State 9, Purdue 10. Huge win for Purdue. They scored 6 in the second and kind of just kept battling. Ohio State punches back with 4 spot in the 5th and a 4 spot in the 7th as they try to get all the way back. Ultimately, Boilermakers win. They're now 13-6 in conference. Eli Anderson and Sam Flores both shine for Purdue. Likewise, on the other side of the ball, Henry Casimir, Mason Eckelman, and Dane Harvey all stood out for Ohio State. Purdue has not lost a weekend series since that Oregon March 6th. That's unbelievable Purdue. Like, they just keep winning weekend series, and they got it going on. Like, they finished with at USC versus Indiana and at Iowa. They could sneak in and be that 5th team. I keep saying there might be a 5th team. I think it's Purdue.
Yeah. Just like how I talked about with Wake and you mentioned it, Purdue very quietly 13-6. They have not lost a weekend home series since the Oregon series. Again, another barn burner, man. Like 19 runs, 26 hits. Eli Anderson was nails. Sam Flores was a stud. But this is the Big Ten for you, where the pitching is just not the strong suit here. And it's just which offense can outlast the other one. In this case, it was the Boilermakers.
Yeah. Speaking of pitching in the Big Ten, Oregon 16, Illinois 6. Welcome back, Oregon offense with 19 hits, 9 of those being extra base hits. Nailavuiluki Jr. hits 2 balls that nearly 1,000 feet of home runs. Like, unbelievable. Good to see Maddox Maloney get a couple extra base hits as he gets going. If this offense gets rolling, Peyton, this is a host team. This is a team that should host in Eugene if they continue to roll like this.
I think they should be in the hosting conversation. Just like you said, good to see Maddox Maloney, kind of get back to the Maddox Maloney hype we all had him to be. Just like you said, Mark, I'm not going to try and the name who hit nearly 1,000 feet of home runs, but 114, 112 EVs. Oregon now 5-1 in conference play opener games. I think that's a good padlock stat. But yeah, Will Sanford was I know he didn't have his best stuff, but
he was solid again.
It was fun on the road again, just like how we talked about with Cincinnati. It's not a 2-hour drive away.
Yeah.
Good to see Oregon, dominate.
I think you need to see a sweep this weekend for them as the schedule. I think that's just, they still have UCLA coming up, which is not an easy one here. They still have USC also. So like they have those two series looming in their front way. So, but I think that Oregon's got a sweep here this week, and they got a sweep against Penn State next weekend. And then we can start having that conversation as to where they finish up. If they can sweep a USC, also probably knocking USC into some trouble there if they do that. As they get USC at home that final weekend, but they're at UCLA the second to last weekend, and that could be a really big litmus test between these two teams. So very excited for that.
Also 5 for 5 last night.
Oh yeah, Ryan Cooney's been tremendous. He's the best second baseman in the Big Ten, maybe in the country right now. He's playing a really good second base, and he's hitting like it's unbelievable what this young man's doing. You don't think he gets enough credit on the national scene for how good of a player he's been in his 3 years also at Oregon. So very excited for him. The middle of that infield starts to get going. Look out, because Maddox Maloney and Ryan Cooney and Drew Smith has been just electric. I mean, he's the only guy that's on this team that's in the Golden Spikes conversation, as he should be. Like he's been really, really good.
Yeah.
Ole Miss at Tennessee. Tennessee, huge weekend last weekend, but they dropped the home opener here against Ole Miss. 3 solo shots from Federico Becerra and Uttermark to get the offense rolling. All these runs here, just crazy. Federico turns in a three-hit day. Elliott goes 6, allowing just the 3 runs. Big win on the road for Ole Miss. I think this Ole Miss team is putting themselves in that conversation to be a host team.
I think this is like hand up. Like I think this is the one team that has proved me wrong. I thought Becerra hit that ball to Saturn yesterday. 110 off the bat, 414. Ole Miss, 5 in RPI, 4 strength of schedule. I think for them, even because, I mean, they're going to sustain both of those data points. If they get to 16 wins, I think there needs to be a reasonable conversation for them to host in Oxford. The beer showers there, again, would be fantastic. Hayden Federico has been a godsend for them. And even in conference, like Ole Miss's offense has not been spectacular. I think they only have 2 guys that are hitting above 300 and 3 above 280. Tennessee now 0-3 in home openers in the SEC under Elander. Today's pitching matchup with Cade Townsend and Tegan Coons is going to be fantastic.
Yeah, if it wasn't for last weekend's sweep, it's a whole different feel for Tennessee. This loss hurts, but it does not put them in that death spiral like it is for LSU right now. Whereas the 7-9 team that's 19, 25-13 overall feels a lot different than a Vanderbilt who's 7-9 and 22-17. So like there's still hope for Tennessee fans. Absolutely. You got to go out and get more wins still. I mean, you still got to find 6 more. I think 13 is the mark for them. But yeah, I mean, 6 more wins is the thing for them. If they can go out and get a win today, I think they feel really good about themselves. And today's a good matchup. I like Ole Miss to win today, and I think that Tennessee takes the 3rd game, but I really do think that this is a big matchup today. TCU at Baylor. Man, this might be the end of TCU's season. It's really creeping up fast on us now as they lose this one 4-11. Like Baylor, slow start for the day, but they score runs in the 5th, the 6th, the 7th. 5 in the 8th, and they'd really just set it up and said, hey, we're going to take this game. Travis Sanders and Tice Armstrong both get 3 hits apiece. Lucas Davenport goes 7 in the victory. I mean, the story is, though, there's just not much offensively going on for TCU, and they cannot figure out a way to win any of these road games, man. They have got to do better in Big 12 play.
So this is one of the last few notes before we hit live. Again, TCU, just like you said, TCU's offense, man, has just been skittish. Like Lucas Franco, I know he's a freshman. He's hitting 250 in conference. Chase Brunson, 245. And then Sawyer Stroh-Snyder, 219. I asked you about LSU, and I'm going to ask you about TCU, even though I think I know the answer. Let's just say 16 wins, and that is an extreme ask, I feel like, right now.
Sitting at 8-8 in conference.
TCU's halfway there. They're at 8-8 and 8th in the standings right now. Houston at home, at Stillwater, Utah at home, at West Virginia. Can you find 8 wins there?
I don't know if they find 8 wins the rest of the season.
The rest of the season.
They have been struggling that bad for me. I am really worried about the pitching staff. I'm worried about what they have offensively. They're inconsistent right now. I don't know if this TCU team is a tournament team. And I think that, beginning of the season, if I had told myself that I'd say that here at week 10, I'd be insane. I don't see it, honestly. I just am really having a hard time with TCU winning baseball games. Baylor's tough. West Virginia is going to be tough. Utah's showing that on Friday nights they can compete with anybody in the country, right? I don't know if TCU can go out and get these. And Oklahoma State's getting hot at the wrong time for these teams. Like, they're starting to hit the ball now. I don't know if TCU has enough firepower to get through this thing, and they're sitting at 22-15 overall, 8-8 in conference. I think that they have to finish with a minimum of 15 wins, so they got to find 7 conference wins out of the next 14 games. So they got to go 500 in conference down the stretch. I don't know if they do it. I honestly don't know. They'd have to take the 2 here in Baylor for me to like. If they could take the next 2 in Waco, I feel better. If they had won last night, I would have felt better. I don't think TCU gets there though.
So good. I know you mentioned the pitching staff. In 142 and 2/3 innings, they've given up 173 hits and a 308 batting average against.
Yeah, and they're not hitting that on the other side. Like, if they were hitting 330, be a different conversation. This team is not hitting, especially in conference. They're not hitting at all right now. And I think that's the biggest part that's left them is they just don't have the extra base hits. They're not putting up those crooked numbers when they need to. That kill shot stat that we all love, TCU don't have it. They don't put up those numbers against teams right now. And it's just a huge drop off from where they were. Now, could they surprise me and go out there and win 8-9 conference games and put themselves? Sure, they could.
Absolutely.
They have the talent. They're just not showing it right now. And they look like a dead man walking when they show up to games right now. And then getting blown out in Waco, like, Baylor's a good team. They're not a great team, and they made TCU like a bad team.
We want them to prove us wrong.
I do. Yeah, yes. I'd be happy. I love TCU. I love Saarloos. I want them to be good.
Yes.
It's frustrating to me that they're not.
Right.
So, they were one of my Omaha picks in preseason. So it's been rough. I hope that they get healthy. I hope they get right. Maybe this is the wake-up call they need to get going and get those, 8-9 conference wins that they need down the stretch here. Duke at Boston College. Boston College wins this one 11-1 in 7 innings. AJ Colarusso, huge jump back. Like, we know he's a Friday night ace. He's shown the part of it in ACC play. Unbelievable for them. The difference was that they stole 14 bases in this game. They had 11 stolen bases in the first 2 innings. Unbelievable. I love Boston College. Bird ball is back, baby.
More snaps. AJ Colarusso, program record, 44 games started. 14 stolen bases, man.
14.
Boston College, 15-2 at home. Jack Toomey, great game, 3 for 4. Man, Duke just 3 hits. This was bird ball. This was bird ball. And Boston College, had 11 hits. So the bird ball is small ball because they only had 1 extra base hit. But yeah, Duke 4-10 on the road. Boston College, man, they are like, this is a fun college team to watch, especially for series openers. Yeah.
We might be seeing a host. This might be a host team. It's getting really close. 12-7 in conference. They continue to win. They're top 25. I like this Boston College team. I think that they're playing their way into that conversation. They've played the top teams in the conference very tough. They could have taken 2 or 3 from North Carolina. That's how good that series was. I really like this Boston College team moving forward. They have enough. Nick Yank, he was just inches from another home run to set the career record for Boston College home runs. Like, I love where this team's going, and I think that Boston College puts themselves in that conversation late. Very excited for this Boston College team. I'm going to run through a couple scores quickly because we are running out of time. Wichita State at ECU. ECU wins this one 7-1. Huge one there. Shockers got 1 in the first, but then were stymied the rest of the way. Gonzaga, massive win at St. Mary's for them, 7-2. They're now 10-3 in conference. Justin Feldman improves to 5-0. Zag Dogs are really tough in conference. They lead the West Coast Conference now. I picked them as my preseason West Coast Conference champion. I think that they're going to be a tough 3 seed somewhere. Could be a 4 seed depending on where they finish here. But Mikey Bell and Ryder Young both collected 3 hits in the victory. Huge for those guys. UCSB goes down at Irvine, wins that one 7-3. Jackson Flora goes 6, allowing just 1 run, striking out 9. He did walk 6. But a big win there, allowing just the 5 hits total for Irvine. Coastal wins 16-7 at home against Georgia State. Let's talk about Mississippi State, because I wanted to get to this one importantly. They finally get off the schneid. They go get that win. Big win there for Mississippi State as they go out there and win this one 5-3. They had to go get one at South Carolina. Good to get the first one. Valencius goes now. He gets another win. He's 7-1 for Thomas. All 8 runs in this game came from 5 home runs. Peyton, is Mississippi State back? 5 runs is not that much. Now, South Carolina's been tough at home.
Yep. They're back. I've always been a firm believer on State. I just think they are, like, again, not really any weaknesses on their team, even though the offensive struggles
so much talent
happened. Yeah. Ace Reese, sweet bat flip, man. That was awesome. Tomas was nails. Again, it was another quality start for him. I obviously gave up a little bit of noise, but he did a great job of mitigating it. Jacob Parker, second career 3-hit game in his career. First SEC 3-hit game. I believe his first one was against Jackson State. But yeah, I'm good with State. I think I've got them to sweep this weekend. And I think they're back where they should be. Not where they need to be.
Sweep goes a long way for them, and I'm with you. I think that they sweep this weekend, and I think that you feel differently about that team if they're sitting at 10-8 in conference versus 9-9 if they happen to drop one this weekend. Like, yeah. It's different, and then all of a sudden they're a 30-win team. If they win the next 2, they're 30-10. Like, this is a Omaha caliber team. That's how much talent they have there. Yeah. And if they get McPherson back at some point in that weekend rotation, all of a sudden this is now an Omaha favorite, honestly, in that opinion. So I like the direction that they're going, and I like Mississippi State to go and take the next 2 here in this one. Let's talk about Florida State really fast as they get a huge bounce-back win. It felt like this was like just knocking that gorilla off their chest. Like, man, they were just feeling that pressure in ACC play. They blanked Notre Dame 11-0. Wes Mendez is sharp. The whole lineup hits. Stutzer goes yard again. The freshman's been tremendous for them, giving them that pop since Miles Bailey left. But, man, Mendez goes 6 innings, 3 hits, 2 walks, 7 Ks. Seminole offense pounds 13 hits and only 6 innings of batting. Like, Peyton, this is what you want to see if you're a Florida State fan, is that bounce back.
Yeah. I think Florida State did an excellent job of just getting to the Irish bullpen. Notre Dame now 1-10 in quad 1 wins, or, quad 1 games.
Quad 1 games.
Yeah, quad 1 games. Florida State, 8 of their 9 hitters had a hit, but all 9 of their starters touched home. This was just purely a beat down. I know I've said it a couple times as we've been on air, but Trey Beard and Jack Riddell today is going to be awesome.
Must watch.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. But
I'm very excited for that game today. But I do think the Florida State takes the sweep, and I think that kind of ends the season and what we thought was the hopeful for Notre Dame, as they've dropped all the way to 7-12 in conference and 17-16 overall.
And good for Florida State after getting swept last week.
Huge win for Florida State. Huge for Florida State. As they look up right now at Boston College, North Carolina, and Georgia Tech in conference standings. So they're going to have to continue to find ways to win. I think that they're still a host team. I don't think it's a national seed, though. But I think that that's just the kind of conversation we're in right now, with Boston College being 1 win away from 30 now. Man, they're right there. Like, that's the thing I keep saying. Boston College is a host team. And I hope that people understand that. Peyton, what game are you most looking forward to this weekend as we wrap up this episode?
I think I'm most looking forward to seeing how USC responds today against Nebraska, especially how last night ended. Grant Gavell and Mason Edwards as a 1-2 tandem can give them a run for anybody's money. I'm interested to see how today goes for both teams, but especially USC. Get that first quad 1 win.
Yeah. Miami beating Stanford last night. I want to see that game. I think that that's important if they continue to win. Like, I think that this Miami team is slowly becoming a wagon now, sitting at 5th place in conference. Like, people 4 weeks ago had kind of written this team off. Well, they're now 9-7 in conference, and they're 8-2 in their last 10 games, which is the same as North Carolina and just 1 behind Georgia Tech. I'm excited to watch the Georgia Tech game against North Carolina because I think that this is a bounce back game, whereas they take that game, then it sets up an awesome game on Sunday for that rubber match there. And I think that the SEC games that we're talking about, the Georgia and Arkansas and Auburn, Florida, like, those 2 are huge, massive rubber games today. So I'm very excited for those. Who's a team that you kind of looked at this weekend thinking that they needed to go in for a win and didn't quite get it this weekend so far, have not looked the part?
NC State.
NC State.
But again, this is why you play 3, right? Yeah. Think of it like the Arizona, North Carolina Super Regional. I think Arizona was lost game one like 18-1 in Chapel Hill, and they come back. It's not about how you start; it's about how you finish, right? I think they needed one, especially with Marone out and again Duden out for the year. Just make the statement. But we'll see how they respond today.
Mine's LSU.
Yeah,
I really thought that they were going to bounce back on a Friday night at home. Kassan Evans has been good enough the last few starts here. He got lit. Like, I don't know where they go from here. 6-10 in conference. I think that it's LSU for me. Any final thoughts for the fans as we tune into this great Saturday of baseball games?
I know we're short on time. I want to shout out Cal Baptist, now 15-4.
man.
Yeah, 15-4 on the road. I believe, forgive me if I don't pronounce his name correctly, Michael Malkai. Complete game, now up to 52 innings, 1.8 ERA. 8 of their 9 starters had a hit last night, 5 different players with a bomb. Wagon. So, yeah, that's all I got. And again, shout out my former boss, Coach Butch Thompson, 350 wins at Auburn. Congratulations, man. Go get 351 today against Florida.
Love it. I have the Auburn hat first front and center here today for that. I was very pumped for Butch. I've seen him live many times, which is weird for me for being a West Coast guy, seeing an SEC coach. Love Butch. I think what he has done is tremendous. I'd love to see Auburn I'd love to see a national seed at Plainsman. Honestly, I think that it'd be rad to have that this year, and the pitching that they have is really elite. Yeah. I'm excited, folks. Go out and go watch some college baseball. There's so many good games today. For Peyton and myself, thanks so much for joining us, guys. We'll see you guys live on the Monday night Top 25 show and Wednesday for the preview show. So thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you guys again soon.